Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video we're going to do a comic review for Godzilla in Hell. Yes, Godzilla in Hell. This was released, the first issue, July 15th, and it's going to be a 5-part issue of Godzilla trudging through the underworld. Yes, the underworld. And I was very intrigued by this idea. As you guys know, I don't read comics as much as I say I used to back in the day. I used to read them a lot as a kid. I still have a trunk full of comics, stuff like that. But this one I had to pick up because being a Godzilla fan for so long and then hearing this tale of Godzilla going through hell, I said to myself, all right, this is different. You know, we've seen Godzilla fight all these monsters. We've seen Godzilla, you know, kill all these cities. And it makes perfect sense for Godzilla to go to hell. So I picked up the comic, and the first issue is, the story is told by pictures. It's very, very unique comic, very few words. In fact, the first set of words is Godzilla in Hell, and it shows, and I'll put a couple of screenshots up while I talk just so you guys can get an idea of the art and stuff like that, but I won't show too much because, like I said, this particular issue, the images tell the story, so I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it's not an expensive comic. It's about $4, and it's really, really cool, albeit short, but it's cool. So it opens with Godzilla falling into hell. Makes perfect sense, right? And he lands in hell, and you know, the artist, he did a good job of putting his portrayal of what hell looks like. You know, when we think of hell, we think of fire, brimstone, and all this. This was a very depressing hell. It was very barren. There wasn't a whole lot going on. It just was a very, very depressing surrounding. And Godzilla gets there, he lands, and there's a tower. And on the tower says, ye who enter abandon hope. You know what I mean? And the first thing Godzilla does, he looks at it, bam! He blows that shit up. And that just got me fired up because it's like no fucks given. This is Godzilla. You don't talk to Godzilla. You don't tell Godzilla whether or not there's hope. Godzilla decides what he wants to do. So that right there just set the tone for this issue. And as Godzilla trudges through hell, you see different symbiotic you see different symbols of what Godzilla did during his life. You know, a prime example, and again, it's a short comic, so I don't want to give away too much. But I will tell you some of the things that Godzilla encountered. One thing he encountered was a wall, and as he got closer to the wall, it turned out to be like a wall of dead bodies, which we could only assume are the souls or the deaths of the people that he killed during his many years of terror. And as he's going through the wall, and as he goes through the wall, it gets bigger, and it almost becomes like an avalanche of bodies just piling on Godzilla. And when he makes it through the wall, he kind of stumbles through and falls to his, like, on his face, and then as he starts getting himself up across the way, he sees himself. But this other Godzilla is a demonic Godzilla. He's kind of scarred, and he just doesn't look very appealing. You can tell it's Godzilla, but it's not him. And yes, he does fight this monster. That's all I want to say. There's a lot of cool shit that happens in that fight, and there's a lot of surprises. Not a lot, but there's one particular surprise that is very cool, and I don't want to give it away. But he fights this monster, and it's a tough fight. It's a very, very tough fight. And shortly after, he moves on. And basically, that's where the comic, this one issue, ends. Now, there are other things that happen in the comic, but again, I don't want to give it away. It's not super long, and if I say even one or two more things, it's giving away too much. But the art is pretty good. The art is good. I like the fact that when you watch Godzilla 2014 and then you see this comic, one advantage here and then in the 2014 movie that I always felt was an advantage over the Toho films, facial expressions. Facial expressions. For example, when Godzilla first gets up in hell, you could see his face is like, he's looking around like, what the fuck is this? And you know, it's like, so that's one thing I thought was cool. His design is very similar to the Millennium Godzilla. For those of you Millennium fans, he's got the big spikes, he's got the little spikes around his neck, but the body is not, like from the neck down, looks very Heisei series, so a little bit of blend, in my opinion. That's how it looks to me, because the Millennium Godzilla is pretty short, and the Heisei Godzilla was really, really tall. So it looks like they just combined the two, like neck up and then body down with Heisei. So that design, it was pretty cool. It was good. His attitude in the book is just very I don't want to say nonchalant, but while he seems surprised to be where he is, it's his business as usual. But the thing I like about the first comic is, obviously there's not going to be any words. Who's going to talk? Godzilla's not human. But the images tell the story, and that's really what you have to get out of it. And you can get multiple things out of this story in terms of what the images represent. So in that aspect, I think it's really good. I'm definitely looking forward to the second one. Now, the whole series is supposed to be written by different people, so it's going to be a different aspect or a different vision of what Godzilla faces in hell. And I've read the synopsis for some of the upcoming ones, and it sounds really good. But if you're even vaguely interested, pick it up. The artwork is pretty good. The story is told by the art, and it's not that long. It's it's not super long, but it's a good opening to this series that I find really interesting, because this is one thing Godzilla's never really faced before. So I definitely wanted to get into it, see what it's all about. So let me know what you think about Godzilla in Hell issue 1 if you've read it yet. If not, go pick it up, come back, let me know what you thought. Until then, this is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit ETN's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description. You're watching ETN. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do a review, a comic review for Godzilla in Hell. Yes, Godzilla in Hell. This was released, the first issue, July 15th. And it's going to be a 5-part issue of Godzilla trudging through the underworld. Yes, the underworld. And I was very intrigued by this idea. As you guys know, I don't read comics as much as I say I used to back in the day. I used to read them a lot as a kid. I still have a trunk full of comics, stuff like that. But this one I had to pick up because being a Godzilla fan for so long and then hearing this tale of Godzilla going through hell, I said to myself, all right, this is different. We've seen Godzilla fight all these monsters. We've seen Godzilla, kill all these cities. And it makes perfect sense for Godzilla to go to hell. So I picked up the